8. This
That famous story, the woman caught in adultery, the one where Jesus says, "Let the one without sin cast the first stone." It's beautiful. It's powerful. It's also not in the earliest manuscripts of John. That story, it shows up much later, sometimes in John, sometimes in Luke, sometimes literally scribbled in the margins, almost like a sticky note that someone didn't want to lose.
Okay, let's pause here because this part really matters. What Mark says about the manuscript history is true. The story does not appear in the earliest copies of John, and later manuscripts place it in different locations. But here's the clarification he leaves out. This was not a random story Christians made up later, and it wasn't added because people were emotionally attached to it. It was a well-known story about Jesus that was already circulating in the early church, most likely as an oral tradition. The reason scribes struggled with where to place it isn't because they were editing scripture. It's because the story didn't originate in any one gospel. It wasn't written by John or Luke, or clearly tied to a known apostolic author. So they didn't know where it belonged. And that hesitation actually shows how careful they were. They preserved the story, but they refused to confidently attach it to a gospel without solid evidence. So yes, the manuscript detail is real, but the idea that Christians just added stories they loved is not. That wasn't community creativity. It was textual caution.